Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Alrighty, today we are going to do a mani with gel polish on my left hand, and I am going to be using a mix of Madam Glam and Born Pretty. So I'm just going to jump right in, and I have a little story to tell you guys. So I am subbing for PE again, and I seem to always have crazy stories to tell of my days in PE, and yesterday did not disappoint. So it is first thing in the morning. I have my first class. We had a holiday on Monday, so it was Tuesday, and it was my first class of the day and first class of the week. I had my fifth graders, and I was like, cool, we're gonna have a good day. We're going to do free play today. Like, I already just had it in my mind. We were going to go outside because we'd been stuck inside the whole previous week doing certain activities. So I'm doing the warm up with them and everything's going well until it wasn't. So I had seen a kid on the floor, and he didn't look like he was in pain or anything. So I had just assumed that he was just like not participating in the warm up. And I was just kind of like, whatever. Next thing I know, one of the kids that was sitting down there next to him was like, Miss Amber, so-and-so's hurt. And I'm like, oh crap. So I go back there and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, my knee hurts. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, can you get up and walk? And he's like, no. And I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, can you move your leg? He's like, no. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, do you think you can make it to the office with help from friends? And he was like, no. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, so what do you want me to do? Do you want me to call for a wheelchair? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I get on the little radio that I have, and I'm like, hey, office, do you copy? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, hey, it's Amber. I'm out in the PE room. I have a student who has hurt himself during the warm-up, and he cannot move his leg, he says. And they're like, we're coming with a wheelchair right now. That was seriously like the quickest response they've ever had for anything. They got there so quick. So it was the nurse and the health aide that both came, and they come into the classroom. And meanwhile, I still have the class in there, and we were finishing the warm-up. And so they're checking the student out and assessing everything, and he cannot get up off the floor still. And so they're like, okay. So I get all the students out, and they're like, we're gonna need to call 911. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So we're sitting there outside. I have the rest of the students outside, and they're in there, communicating to the office. And the office is like, ambulance is on its way. They're really close. So anyways, next thing we know, we have a couple paramedics walking up, and I'm like, hey, they're in this classroom. So they go in there, and like a minute later, the ambulance is pulling onto campus. The ambulance had to pull literally all the way to my classroom door. And at that point, they go in, and they're assessing the situation with the other paramedics, and they decide they need the stretcher. And turns out the student had dislocated his knee. We were literally doing the PE warm-up, and we were at the part where we were doing the lunges, and he had gone down. So that was how my morning started yesterday. I had the ambulance there. Student was taken away, and it was very nerve-wracking to me. It took a lot out of me to remain calm and cool for everybody so that no other students were freaking out, right? It was like, he's going to be okay. So they called his mom, and she's also a teacher, so she had to leave work, and she just had to leave her class. I don't even know if they had coverage. She was just like, peace out. So she came, and this kid was not even crying, okay? He did not even look like he was really in pain. He was so tough about it. And once his mom got there, and he was in the ambulance, and his mom went into the ambulance to see him and everything, that was when he kind of lost his composure, which understandable, right? So What a crazy day. He's back at school today. He's fine. He's got a knee brace on and everything's good. But I guess said student has something with like his tissues or something, and so he is prone to getting hurt, which really sucks. And yeah, so crazy day I had yesterday. It was absolutely nerve-wracking. So what a day, what a day. Anyways, I guess that is about all for my story time. The rest of the day went okay. I had my tough first grade class in the same day, and you know, it was as expected. So once they were gone, I was like, okay, we got this. The rest of the day is going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then I had double classes for my third graders, and wouldn't you know it, freaking rained. So I got fucked by the weather and it rained on us, and I had to keep them inside, but we managed. It was fine. Everything's fine. So today I'm just like, we're getting everybody outside still as much as possible because we have rain back in the forecast for next week, and I don't want to have to keep everybody in if it's not necessary. Like if it's okay enough to go outside, then I'm taking them outside because it's less chaotic for me when I'm not in the classroom, just because it gets really super loud in there. And yeah, so when they're at least outside, they can spread out and split up a little bit, and it just makes it a little bit easier on me. But oh my goodness, what a day, what a day. I'm so glad that it's over. And to top it all off, my son had gotten hurt and busted his eye open on the side of his right eye. He's got some gashes from smacking his face on a chair at home. So he was with me the entire time yesterday while all this was going down in PE. It was just insane. But like I said, everything's fine. The student who was hurt is fine. He's back at school. Everything's good. So oh my goodness, but what a crazy experience for me, because I've never had to have an ambulance come for anything, right? And for it to be on my watch with students, it really took a lot out of me, and it kind of messed up my mind a little bit yesterday. Even though I know it wasn't my fault, it still just was one of those things where, you know, I still had like a guilt, and I felt bad, like it was my fault, even though I know it wasn't. But we're good. We're good. Today is a different day, and things have been going fine, other than the weather being cold and windy, and the sun is not breaking through as much as I want it to. But it is what it is. Everything's fine. Nobody has been seriously hurt since, and yeah, so story times. I hope you guys enjoyed this video though. Check the description box for my links to Madam Glam and to Born Pretty if you're interested in any of these colors. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for being here, being a part of my channel. Thank you so much for listening to my story time. I hope you guys enjoyed today's mani. I am obsessed with these colors together, and I just had to do something because, like I said in a previous video, I needed pink back in my life. So, hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!